Hello, legends, and welcome to the first segment of Blunt Force Healing Podcast, episode 446. It's Friday, not a lovely Friday. It's very rainy at the moment, very wet. Although the temperature is quite okay, even though it's around 8, I would say 8 to 10 degrees Celsius. It feels like it's warmer. I don't know if it's just the air and the fact that there's so much humidity, and probably the fact that we had those cold days before, but that's the felt temperature is probably about maybe 12, 13 or something like that. So not bad, but it's very wet, and some people find it difficult, especially if it's gloomy and cloudy and the sun is not reaching us. Obviously, it has impact on our mood and general energy levels. So that's certainly something that hit me this morning, especially that I didn't sleep enough again, mainly because I came back before midnight, probably around 11:30. Then I had to quickly upload the yesterday's episode and publish the blog post. Then I've added single short because I have that kind of habit of doing on average one short every day or every second day, just to keep those shorts coming into the podcast channel or to the actual channel on YouTube, so it slowly grows based on those shorts. And those of you that know what my strategy was on the channel, because there's not many views on the regular videos and they are long, so it's not easy to retain people for long. Podcast on Spotify seems to be a little bit better in capturing the audience that wants to listen most of it or all of it. YouTube not so much, but again, it's probably me doing some things not right, and I will have to educate myself how to make those episodes at least more engaging or entertaining, to the point where people are actually keeping attention to it and want to listen. Because I found people that do a lot of different videos that are not super exciting or interesting, but the fact of them knowing how to edit those videos and prepare them and do the right thing is enough to keep people online watching for longer, even though they might not be interested. It's not my intention. I want to have interesting videos, but as you know, probably if you're long enough with this journal slash podcast, not every day is exciting. In fact, not many days are exciting. The rest of them are super important, but they're not super exciting. So we do a lot of work about 80% of the time that really only 20% of it is 20% of what we do is probably something that we are happy about or is exciting. But that proportion is okay, because if we do only exciting stuff or mostly exciting stuff, I'm not sure if we would be able to recognize that this is exciting and fully enjoy it. So there is a bit, or I would say more than a bit, of suffering that we need to go through in life to appreciate those moments that are so-called happiness. So yeah, I stayed a little bit over, a little bit, probably went to bed around 2 o'clock. So a short night's sleep, probably about 6 hours. Not too bad, but not meeting my requirements. So the day was tiring. A lot of things happened yesterday, and then I was driving back. And when I got home, I had those things to do. And later on, I needed to do something that I preferred to do while I was still awake and fairly focused for work, because that meant I didn't have to wake up and go straight to the computer and, be half asleep and have to focus on some important work. Rather, kind of, I could smoothly get into the day. And that's what happened. So instead of waking up and being kind of dizzy and barely focused and approaching the task that required focus, I did it while I was still awake, and then kind of slept through with confidence and some, I would say, some calmness of mind. So yeah, that's it for now. I'll be back shortly. Yeah, I cut it short a little bit because my wife just came in, so I didn't want to, you know, distract you guys and, get into conversation with my wife or hold the conversation from my wife. So I don't know why I'm explaining myself. I think it's a normal thing to do. So I just wanted to add one update before I was about to close the first segment. But again, my wife came in, so I decided to add it later, which is now. It's, what time is it? 1:25 p.m. So I still have a bit of time before I go and pick Julian from school. But there are two things that I'm expecting to do today. So first is, I'd like to go now, well, shortly in lunchtime, and use that time to clean the car or go to the car wash and then kind of vacuum it a little bit and clean it up and take some pictures, because I had a chat today with BMW sales, and they have nice system where we can do a lot of things remotely, like the appreciation and assessment of the car, so they know how much they can give an exchange or towards the next car, and I don't need to drive there. Nobody needs to, look at the car and check this up. Everything can be done remotely. So I'm going to clean it up so it just looks better, and take some pictures, submit it via their automated system to particular sales guy that I spoke to. They will have a look, see what the financial side of things is, how does the contract look, and hopefully I would be able to go next week and swap the car, so leave the current car with them and just come back to Donegal with a new car. So the new car will be pretty much similar, 3 Series, one that we are looking at. It's a bit odd because it's a red color. I don't like it to be so visible because, it also kind of catches the eye of the police, and in general it's just a little bit bright. But my wife likes it. Julian also is happy with that color. So, I don't have midlife crisis, so I don't need red Ferrari or BMW. But I don't really care about that color too much, except for that visibility or being less blending into the environment. And obviously a first pick psychologically for anyone really looking at different colors of the cars that are, I would say, darker or brighter. But then when you see red, it's quite obvious that it's the first one you would probably pick to check or whatever. Not that I have anything to hide, but yesterday I realized that I didn't pay the road tax, and in Ireland you pay road tax separately to the fuel. So you can pay it for the whole year, you can pay it quarterly or biannually, so half of a year or 6 months basically, and then 6 months. It's very handy because you can pay for, let's say, a quarter, and then when you sell the car, you're not losing money on the, road tax that you paid for the whole year, for example. It's not a big money, especially for those cars like hybrids and others, because they have decent emissions, and system in Ireland for road tax is based on emissions. So most of the new cars are fairly nice and low tax, the road tax, but still. And I didn't realize that the tax expired. But not only expired, it seems like we were driving the whole quarter without tax. So we were very lucky that we weren't stopped, because the tax disc or kind of proof must be displayed just behind the windscreen, so the police don't have to stop you, I would say, or check your documents. They can just look at your windshield, and we have all those kind of details there, like the tax disc, the insurance disc, and the NCT, which is basically just a control that is first, I think, annually, and then biennial or whatever, every 2 years. So first is every 2 years, and then it's annual after a certain time. So the new cars, when you buy them straight out of the salon or are the current year, they have 4 years without checkup. They don't need to do that checkup, the density. And then once the 4th year passes, you need to go and to do the checkup. From that moment, I think you do that every 2nd year, I think 3 times. And once the car is 10 years old or more, you do that every year. And I think beyond 20 years, you're probably tax exempt for most cars for some reason. Or for, I don't know if tax exempt or NCT exempt. I need to check that up. Anyway, so I checked it up, and because I was afraid to leave Dublin, as I know that there are checkpoints sometimes on the outskirts of Dublin or in Dublin in general, I decided to just pay straight away. So it wasn't too bad, but I had to spend €100, and tax is paid until, I think, February. So I will lose a little bit of money, I would say, because I could have probably driven to Dublin next week and kind of try to wing it and not pay that tax. But again, it's not worth risking. It's also it's €100 versus probably a fine would be 160 or something. So I'd rather not risk it. And we'll see how it goes. So basically, I spoke to the guy. We are working towards that. I need to go and wash, prepare the pictures, submit them. They will do the whole assessment and financials, and will give me a shout. What's the plan? How much will it cost? And we either agree or not, and we'll swap the car basically, hopefully next week. So that's my plan. So yeah, it will be diesel, almost the same engine, but it will be, I think, 1.8 or 1.9, I don't know. I think it's 1.8, but I'm not sure about it. So yeah, it's more efficient on the long routes anyway, and it will be diesel only without hybrids. So there's no car battery in there, which means that my trunk, the back of the car, will almost double in size in comparison to this one. So a lot of advantages. It's a younger car, I would say. It's from 2019, and it has almost, well, just a little bit more than half of what I drove with this one. So I think I have about 160,000 kilometers, which is roughly 100,000 miles on my current one. And the other one is about, I think, 90,000 kilometers, which is probably about, what is it? 50, 60 maybe. No, 55,000 miles probably. So not bad, especially that diesels can run even more. So I hope it will be a good choice. If not, we can always swap it again in a year's time or something. So there's always that flexibility. So this is the main highlight. Nice word, highlight. Would it be if you have a stack of hay and you kind of ignite it and it burns in flames? That will be haylight. That's my weird mind in works. Apologies for that. I don't feel well slept through, as I said before. So, and as you can see, probably my eyes are half closed. So, I'm really tired today. Oh, that's 10 minutes. So yeah, I'm going to wash the car, get it ready, do the pictures, submit them, and make sure that they have something to work on. Maybe tomorrow I'll get the results, and I will pick Julian around 3 p.m. from school. But another thing that I wanted to mention is that it's a good chance that I will have, in between of washing the car and picking Julian, I might have the call with my brother, one of my brothers. He just said that it's a good time to sync up before Christmas, and he has time around now, and he said, like, if you have time, we can just organize some coffee or whatever, video call. So we are planning to do that, and we'll see how it goes. So that's it for now. I'll be back for the third segment soon. And welcome back. Short last segment and final update of today. I'm here with Elizabeth. We just arrived into a car park at McManus Estate because we want to do a short walk. It's very dark, and as you probably can see, the trees are slightly dangerous, I think, because it's very windy. It's sort of storm, so I can understand why there is no people here, but we will take a chance and do the short walk in the park and see how it goes. But yeah, I kind of wonder if it's still safe. Anyway, there's not much to update on except the fact that we are slightly progressing towards the car swap, and that's it for today. So thank you very much for tuning in. Have a great rest of the day, evening, or afternoon, wherever you are. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow.